I call Todd Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a shame. I didn't want to interrupt the member, and because I was having a really entertaining time listening to the fascinating segments of the Statutes Amendment Bill that she was choosing to canvass, Mr. Speaker. It was great. It was particularly enjoyed the aspects around the Antarctica. I didn't realise that that you couldn't reintroduce Shetland ponies back into Antarctica once you'd removed them. I didn't realise they even existed there in the first place, actually. But you never know. I've never been there. I'm close to Antarctica. No, well, I'm pretty close. Actually, Sarah might be. Who is the MP? Do we have an MP for Antarctica? I just want to talk a little bit about something not quite as exciting as ponies in Antarctica, but about the Official Information Act and about some of the clauses that have been included in the Statute Amendment Bill, not only with the Official Information Act 1982, but also with the Local Government Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act, Mr. Chair, because I think it's having a little bit of experience in ministers' offices working on Official Information Act requests. It's interesting to see it from the other side around how sometimes requests can change a number of times, and a slight change in an Official Information Act request can change the scope completely and also create a whole lot more work than what may be initially sort of foreseeable. And, you know, with some of the more conjoint work streams that the government is implementing across the social sector as well. If you put an Information Act request in regarding vulnerable children to the Minister of Social Development's office, you might be getting information collected across a wide range of various ministers, which includes a lot of time. It also includes a lot of resource, and if all that information doesn't necessarily have to come from head office either. There are a number of regional offices around the country that need to be sought information as well. So that's specifically regarding Clause 74 of the Official Information Act, where this Statute Amendment Bill clarifies that if a request for official information is amended after consultation with the requester, the revised request is to be treated as a new request for the purposes of the 20-day limit. And it also states that the revised request also replaces the original request of that purpose, for that purpose. It provides the agency, provided that an agency will not receive the benefit for this provision unless it has made a demonstrable effort to clarify the request within 7 working days. And I think that's a reasonable request, Mr. Chair, given particularly the administrative tasks that take place in the receipt of an Official Information Act request are usually done within the first couple of days, purely from a logging and allocating perspective anyway. So I think making that clear and for the Official Information Act will certainly help all parties involved, and also bringing that in line also for the local government side of things. I think it's becoming increasingly more important, and given the nature of activities that local government are undertaking that are being filtered down by central government, it helps to have to enable them to be more aligned and have a more sort of consistent approach to treating OIA requests, Mr. Chair. So it was quite an important consideration. It was indeed, Mr. Senior Whip. Thank you for pointing that out. It was fascinating. Also, I just wanted to touch on another positive aspect of the Statute Amendment Bill, also with regard to Official Information Acts, and that was the Clause 73, where we're clarifying that a partial transfer of OIA request is permitted. And I suppose that's sort of general practice already in a lot of cases, and it probably has been treated that way for quite some time, but it always helps to tidy up the legislation to ensure that it's up to date and of relevance. And I suppose it goes back to the purpose of Statutes Amendment Bill number 4 and Statute Amendment Bills in general, Mr. Chair, where it provides an opportunity for the government to tidy up smaller pieces of legislation across a wide range of pieces of legislation to bring them up to date and to make them more efficient. And I suppose the previous member might have been the Green member maybe, talking about the huge amount of legislation that's been implemented over the last sort of few years, and I think that's a sign of a hard-working, effective government. And I have to say there was a lot of legislation that needed amended after the previous 9 years of Labor, so there's been a busy government implementing a lot of legislation. There are a number of pieces of legislation. There are a number of pieces of legislation that are happening, particularly in the space where their former member actually worked as a minister. We're talking about the Antarctica Act, we're talking about conservation, and it was great during the campaign actually. We hosted you down in Balclutha. It was a very positive influence on the farmers down there. It's all right, we'll just carry on, moving on to the Official Information Act, as we were talking about before. It's quite fascinating. I suppose the need to clarify the Official Information Act, because we've got to be able to help the opposition somehow, because we've got to be able to provide them with information to then go back and attack us. So
Sorry to interrupt the member, his time has expired.